Okay. Hey, it's Bub. We're here. We're going to make Bub's famous chili. And with your hand, I'm going to turn on the fire, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to get started. I'm going to kind of give you the recipe as we go. I'll go through the ingredients here real quick in the beginning, though. I'm going to start with, what is it, about 2 tablespoons of butter. Alright, we'll put that in our pot here. Watch your hair, baby. This would be a really funny video if your hair caught on fire. Or not funny, you know what I mean. Alright, we're just going to melt that in there. What we're going to do is we're going to saute some onions. We're going to start with, that's 2/3 of one really big, you know, almost softball size onion, chopped up into bits about like that, right? We're going to use a half of that, and we're going to saute those down until they're good and gooey. And then we're going to use the other half a little later in the recipe so we have some crunch within our chili.
And look at my funny eyeball.
Look at your funny eyeball. You're what make these cooking videos cute, Chloe. Alright. So as this butter's melting, I'll kind of go real quick what else we're going to go through. Alright. We've got a pound of ground pork, pound of ground beef chuck. I don't like the really fatty stuff, but we don't have to get the really premium.
And I'll use the spatula.
And Chloe's going to use the spatula in a little bit. 2 cans of red kidney beans. We're going to want to open those up and we're going to want to rinse the syrupy goo that's in there out several times. I don't like it. 1 can of tomato sauce.
It's all melted.
It's all melted? Okay. We're going to put some onions in there in a second and then you can stir for me, okay?
Okay.
And some diced tomatoes, 1 can.
Onions.
Let's get these onions in there real quick while I tell the rest of the story.
It's not a story, Dad.
It's not a story? Okay. Can you stir that up? Keep stirring it. Alright. I have 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 dehydrated jalapenos that I'm rehydrating here. They're fresh from our garden in September or whatever. A little slower. Okay, well let's let that sit for a second, okay, Pook?
Okay.
I'm rehydrating them in water just a little bit so we don't have to worry about getting them cooked. I just chopped them up. I didn't seed them when I dehydrated them, so they're going to be good to go. The water will go in with them. Garlic. We're going to have a big glob of that.
I think that's rice, Daddy.
It's not rice, sir. And dried cayenne peppers. I'll just grab a handful of these. You'll see that when I do it.
Hi there, my name is Shelby.
Hey, Carol Shelby's chili kit. I really like this mix. It just makes it easier. I don't have to go through and actually measure anything. So I've got a kit there, and it's for 2 pounds of meat.
You have to measure, Daddy.
Okay. In a second. Salt, yes, I used iodized for stuff like this. It really doesn't make that much of a difference, frankly. I've got so much chili in this, you'll never know the difference. Some red pepper flakes if I need to kick it up a notch. Some chili powder just because I like mine hot. And
I like mine hot too, Daddy.
you like yours hot too?
Mm-hmm.
And some black pepper. So we're going to finish sauteing these. And we're back. And I'll get back to you when it's time to add the meat. It's been good.
Hi.
She's been stirring these onions up, and you can see they're starting to caramelize a little bit. So that's real good. And we're going to add our meat now.
Yum. I love meat.
Pound of pork.
Oh. Can I mix that, Daddy?
In a minute. And a pound of ground beef. As you can tell already, this is not the healthiest recipe in the world, but it is what it is. Let's chop it up. That's a whole lot of meat. We're just going to let this brown, and when it's ready, we'll be back. So we poured off a little bit of the fat, and we're going to start with our chili kit here. We're going to spice this up first. It comes with 4 things. It comes with a bag of spice. Hold on, Chloe. It comes with a bag of masa flour, which you may or may not use, depending on how thick you like your chili. Mine's going to be pretty thick already. a little bit of cayenne pepper, and salt. So we'll use this instead of the other stuff. Don't you? That would have been a disaster. All right, so we'll open this up. Let me use the scissors here. Hold on, Goofball. You can pour it. All right, pour it in there. Or just all by yourself. There you go. Good job. Oh, a little bit more. Okay. So we'll just mix this in real quick.
I want to mix it.
Oh, I gotta mix it, baby. We gotta do this quick. You'll see your meat gets all coated with the powder. And kind of try and get it coated good. Ooh, handle's hot. Okay. Now you can see it's coated really well. We'll add diced tomatoes. I'm gonna have to pour these sugar. And then tomato sauce. And we'll get that stirred in there, get a little liquid to work with.
That looks yummy, Daddy.
Oh, it's getting yummy. It's just getting started, honey. Okay.
Why it's not?
Why it's not sizzling anymore? Because we put all that stuff in there, so it's stopping the sizzle. We'll add our starting to rehydrate jalapeno peppers, and this will add a little water too. We're going to add quite a bit of water here in a bit. What I usually do is I take each can of sauce or kidney beans or whatever that we put in there, which we're going to do now, kidney beans. Like I said, I drained the syrup out of these. So it's just the beans without the goo. And then what I'll do is I'll take a half can, fill each can that we have with halfway with water, kind of swirl it around to get all the goodies out, and then the whole thing will go in here as water to help this cook real good.
Can I mix this now?
You can mix it a little bit, but it might be kind of hard, honey. Chopped garlic, minced garlic, whatever. You can use fresh if you want. This is just easier. I'm going to use, that's probably more than you should use. We'll use it anyway, because I really like garlic. And then we'll add some cans of water. Just take your can. I don't know if you can see that very well. Fill about halfway. Then I swirl it real good. That helps get the dregs off the bottom. We'll pour it in, and we'll do that with all 4 cans. Alright, we've added pretty much all the water we're going to add. You can add more if you really want to make it a little thinner. My chili's thick, and it's going to thicken up even more with time here. You can see that good medley of meat and beans. I did 2 cans. Oh, we're not doing that yet, honey.
I just want to bring it over.
You want to bring it over and show everybody that we have chili powder? Yeah, okay, I'll set it down. You can see that medley of meat, beans, and tomatoes. If you like more tomatoes, add another can of tomatoes. I decided to do 2 cans of beans this time because I normally only do 1. But I'm going to do 2. Set them just like that, and they can see them that way. It's cool, just like that. And it'll be a little beanier. You can get away with 1 can. You can get away with no cans if you don't want beans. You know.
Can they hear you?
They can hear me just fine. They can hear you too, goofball.
Well, they can hear me over you. Hi. Why you can't hear my dad?
So, we're going to let this cook here for a while, get it good and going. And,
Just show them my auntie finger, Daddy.
Oh, in a minute. And we're going to keep it stirred. Otherwise, it will stick to the bottom. And, you want to cook it at least a half hour boiling, or a good high simmer, maybe an hour, whatever. And we'll add our supplemental spices and our onions and all that towards the end here when we taste it and get those flavors kind of melded together and see what we need to add. Like I said, all these are really kind of up to you. I'll add a little pepper because I know it's going to need it. And we'll start with that much, and we'll probably double that by the time this thing's through. We'll be back with you in about a half hour. Okay. Alright, we got it boiling real good here. So you want to stir it a little more, Poke? Oh yeah. Big helper. Don't splash. Don't want to lose any of that chili goodness.
Why?
Well, because it's good and we wouldn't be able to eat it if it spills. You can see these jalapenos in here.
Don't touch.
The pork. Oh, don't touch. Okay. Lots of beans. You can use different kinds of beans. I just use kidney beans because that's what they have in cans at the supermarket. They work. Yes, sugar. You're a good boy. Alright, so it's been boiling about 5-6 minutes. We're going to let it go for another 10 or 15, get these things good and hot. If you were using fresh beans, not canned beans, you'd have to cook it a little longer to make those beans work. But you know, it's real simple. It's easier to get them out of a can, and you know, the real flavor you're getting here is you're getting textures and you're getting the flavors, and your strong flavors are going to overwhelm your little ones. That's why I'm okay with using somewhat cheap ingredients like cheap kidney beans or the cheap beef, because the spice is what's really going to give you the flavor, not the flavor of the meat. You're going to have some meat flavor, but as far as I'm concerned, if you're using top grade roast, you know, beef or whatever, or pork, you're kind of throwing your money away, because it's like putting, you know, steak sauce on a really good steak. Some of you will hate me for saying that, but you don't do it. The meat is the flavor. If it's a bad steak, fine, but if it's a good steak, you don't do that. So that's what we're looking like now. I turned it down a little bit. We don't want it to boil too much, but come back every 5 minutes or so and give that bottom a good scraping, because this will stick to the bottom of your pan, and you can get a burnt flavor, and that's not the best. So it's been boiling about 20 minutes. 25 minutes actually. I'm going to taste a little bit of it here. That's Christopher. Hi, buddy. Daddy's making chili. And it's got almost the exact, that's actually spicy. It's more spicy than I thought, so we're not going to add any more. Anything except for some of this onion. Like I said, this is about a third of that big onion. Hi, buddy. Yeah, you're going to help too? Alright, so we'll just throw this onion in there. That gives a crunch. Now the last third of this onion is...
Drop it in.
Yeah, I'm dropping it in. We got a grumpy child there. Sorry. The rest of this onion is chopped really fine for a top dressing. So we can put it on, we can make chili pie, you know, sprinkle a little on top of our chili in our bowl. So, like I said, it's spiced perfectly. I'm just going to put that onion in there. I'm going to cook this for maybe 5 more minutes, and then we're done. I'm not even going to put any of these cayennes in there, because the kids are eating it. If I was doing it, I'd make it a little hotter than what I've got, but it's good and spicy right now with just, like I said, about 4 or 5 jalapenos in there. I'll be back when it's ready to serve. Alright, this is finished. You can see the texture and consistency of the stuff here.
Daddy?
Yes, Christopher. And it's kind of soupy. If you don't like it soupy, I mean, it's not that soupy, I mean, for crying out loud, right? But if you want to make it less soupy, even thicker, you can add masa flour. Add that flour to like a pint glass of water and stir it in really good so it's not lumpy, and then slowly add some of that, a little bit at a time, to your chili, and stir it and cook it for a little bit before adding more, because it'll thicken over time. I'm going to serve mine as chili pie, which is basically Fritos, and sure, I'll shill for them because the generic ones just aren't as good. And a good handful like that in the bottom of a bowl. And I kind of layer stuff, so I'll put a little onions in there and some cheese in the bottom too. Just a pinch. Pinch cheese. Oop. Yeah. Alright, so about like that. 1 good ladle full of chili. Okay. 1.5 good ladles full of chili. And then some onion on top of that. More cheese. And those Fritos on the bottom will get sloppy quick, so add some more to the top for crunch. And one for your mouth for yum. Dinner is served. This will be my lunch tomorrow too. Have a good day.